Good day to all of you. Today we shall discuss on model question paper 1 202324 of the subject Digital Design and Computer Organization with subject code BCS302. In that question number 2C asked for 7 marks. So the question is, what is user defined primitives in Verilog, that is UDPs? What are the general rules for UDP? Explain with an example HDL for user defined primitive. Draw the schematic for the circuit with UDP underscore 02467. So here we have to answer what is UDP with an example and what rules are followed while writing that. And we have to draw the schematic for the circuit with this name. This is UDP. Okay. So it represents some circuit. What is that circuit? That we have to draw. That is called as schematic for the circuit with this name. Solution. In Verilog, this AND, small letters, AND, OR, NOT, NOT, these are reserved words. They are called as system primitives. Means they are provided by Verilog system. Whenever we want to create AND gate, we use AND. So in bracket we'll give the output literal, comma, input literals. If it is 2 input AND gate, we write AND, then space, name of the AND gate, that is optional, G1, in bracket F, comma, A, comma, B bracket complete, semicolon. So if we write that way using this system primitive in our program, we'll have created one AND gate with F as the output, A and B as the inputs. Okay, these are readily available. So they are system primitives. In another words, they are like built-in functions. They can be readily used in structural model kind of Verilog program to implement logic gates functionality. Means to create logic gates, these system primitives are available. Likewise, user 2 can create additional primitives by defining them in tabular form. These tables define logic circuits, and those circuits defined in the form of table are called as user defined primitives. Then finally, what are user defined primitives? So user defined primitives are the logic circuits that a user defines within a table, or user defined primitives are the logic circuits that the user defines in the form of table. Okay. So when we write Verilog module or Verilog program, we use module end module. So between this we write program instructions. Okay. But user defined primitives are written within primitive end primitive. Okay. So between primitive and end primitive, we write a table, that is between table and end table. In that table, we take inputs and outputs. In tabular form, we mention the relation between inputs and outputs, and that creates a logic circuit. And this primitive will have some name, and the logic circuit created by the table in that primitive is called as user defined primitive. Okay, so this we'll understand when we take up an example. Now example, HDL example for HDL means here hardware description language. HDL example for user defined primitive. So here reserved word primitive, end primitive. Within that user defined primitive is written. Like how within module and end module we write a Verilog program. This is the name given for user defined primitive. Means this is the name of this program. This is called as primitive because it is written within primitive and end primitive, and it is going to implement some user defined circuit. Hence it is called as user defined primitive instead of program. So this is the name of that primitive, UDP underscore 02467. Any name can be given, but this name is given here. So in bracket, after bracket, semicolon. In bracket, list of outputs and inputs will be written, and this is called as port list. This is name of the primitive, and writing of primitive starts here, ends here, and this is called as port list. In this we list all the outputs and inputs, and compulsorily we have to list first outputs only. That is the rule here. Okay, and these are the inputs. So which are the outputs and inputs that will be declared inside? This is list, this is called port list, but declaration is here. Out of these output D semicolon. So D is the output. Input A comma B comma C semicolon. So this is declaration of inputs. A, B, C are inputs. Always here first output literal only must be written. So next, this is comment line. This is not an instruction, this is just for our view, means to have clarity what is next. So here truth table for D equal to f of A comma B comma C equal to sigma m of 0, 2, 4, 6, 7. Means here in this primitive, this circuit is implemented. What circuit is implemented here? It is a function of 3 inputs A, B, C, for which minterms the output is 1 there, 0, 2, 4, 6, 7. Hence the name they have given underscore 0, 2, 4, 6, 7. The name is UDP underscore 0, 2, 4, 6, 7. Means it is a circuit defined by user. It is created by user using primitive and end primitive and in the tabular form inside, and it is going to implement the circuit which is going to give the output 1 for minterm 0, 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, so sigma m of these means for these minterms, which is this minterm A bar, B bar, C bar, which is this minterm A bar, B, C bar. So this already we have seen in K maps. Okay, so this circuit is going to be implemented in this. So this is created within table and end table. So this is a comment which is going to indicate the headings of these columns. How many columns are written in this table? 1, 2, 3, 4. So A, B, C are the inputs, D is the output, in between colon. So this is just a comment, it is indicating the names of columns here. What is in A column? 0, B column 0, C column 0. What indicates? It indicates the input combination 0, 0, 0. For that the output is 1. Why it should be 1? Because they want this functionality. So for all these minterms they will give 1 here. So for 0, so for 1 it is 0, for 2 it is 1, for 3 it is 0, for 4 it is 1, for 5 it is 0, for 6 it is, so it should be there 1, for 7 it is 1. Whichever minterms are there in the function, the output will be 1. Hence for those minterms the output is mentioned to be 1, remaining 0. So this will create the circuit which follows this relation. So this creation or defining the circuit is over end table, end primitive. Thus in the form of table, a digital circuit is created by mentioning the relation between inputs and output. So that is what is user defined primitive. User defined primitive is going to define a logic circuit in the form of table. Okay. So another one here, the order in which the inputs are there and they are declared, the same order the system will interpret. We cannot write in different order here. Here ABC means here ABC only. Okay. So far we discussed about the primitive and end primitive within which a table is written, between table and end table. Before that input output declaration is done for the list of inputs outputs which are there in the port list. one circuit model is created, right? That we can call it as model. Like how we create a class in case of object oriented programming language. If we want to use that, we'll instantiate that class, means we'll create an object and use. So we have to remember the word instantiate. So this is another program, module and module is there. So it's a very long program. What is the name of the program? Circuit underscore with underscore UDP underscore 02467. Any name could be given here, but relevant name they are giving here. So they are going to create a new circuit with user defined primitive, what we created now, which follows the function 02467. For these minterms, it will give logic 1 as the output. That kind of primitive user had created. Using that, we are going to create a new program. Okay. So here this is the list of outputs and inputs. Here E, F, they are declared as output. Among these A, B, C, D are declared as input. So this is a new program. In this new program, what user defined primitive was created, in which a circuit was defined which would give the output as 1 for 0, 2, 4, 6, 7 input combinations. So that user defined primitive is used here by calling that, like how we write A and D in bracket F comma A comma B bracket complete semicolon to create one AND gate. A and D is the system primitive there. Here user defined primitive already created, we are calling that. What name we had given there, that name only we have to use as it is. In bracket, here we are giving the variables. So what is E here? 1 output. What is ABC? 3 inputs. Because what user defined primitive we had created, it had D output here, capital letter A, capital letter B, capital letter C inputs. So here we are passing 1 output literal and 3 input literals, right? So then we are calling that user defined primitive whose name was this. Now that circuit is created here. It is giving the output in E as ABC are varied from 000 to 111. The output on E will be 1 for the combination 02467. Now we are getting that circuit here. E output is here. Then A and D system primitive we are calling. For that F is the output declared. On this what we are getting, these two are the inputs. What is this E? That is the output of user defined primitive, that is UDP underscore 02467. So that we are getting here. Means for 02467 variation of this ABC, E will be output, that E is coming here as one of the input to AND gate. Okay. And other input is D. So end module. So this is one program. This is creating a new circuit using user defined primitive and one AND gate. Then what is that circuit created? That is this circuit that is created. Okay. Figure schematic for circuit with UDP 02467. Just now module, within end module what we wrote, that new program to create a new circuit. Here built-in AND gate is there. One input was D, another input was output of UDP underscore 02467. That we can observe here. AND gate is there. So AND gate is there. One input is D. So that is this. Another input is E. Okay. So which is the output of this is the output of user defined primitive. So what we had created, that is the output of this. That was taking ABC as inputs. Then this very long module is creating this new circuit using one system primitive, another one user defined primitive. So this is what is schematic for circuit with UDP 02467. Okay. This is how any digital circuit can be implemented using along with user defined primitives and system primitives. Okay. Completes the discussion of user defined primitives. What is the meaning of that? What rules are used? While writing user defined primitives, how they are written and how they are utilized, and writing the schematic for circuit underscore with underscore UDP 02467. And what is the meaning of this UDP 02467? That discussion is completed. I hope you understood. Thank you.